Good day and welcome back to the Family Cyber Clinic. This week, we are focusing on our kids, especially those who are moving up from primary to secondary school. Needless to say, it can be a shock to the system if we don't get involved in shading them. So the clinic is aware because it has contact with primary folk and secondary folk. And I've heard some things about how things are. And I've actually had one-on-one discussions with a few folk. So I thought it wise to share that information with those who may not know, the parents on the forum or in the community who may not know and just need, some top up. It's not like, rocket science. I say that with all humility. And so we're just going to share some things that you can do, and you should do really, with those kids who are moving from primary to secondary. Now we know, and this should not be a surprise, that a smartphone is on the cards, okay? So it's either they had a smartphone prior to getting into secondary, or there's going to be some allowance. You've moved on, you're now in secondary, the shackles are off kind of thing. Now that, for the child's well-being, is not necessarily a bad thing, but we're urging parents not to totally hands off. It's such a beautiful opportunity to continue that engagement with our young ones. And we say foster a good relationship where there's communication, there's transparency, and there's, a show of love and care. These are things that should come natural. Our kids want to know that we're interested in what they're doing. And this is a prime example where this is so important. And so if we're focusing on phones, one important thing that you must now do is monitor usage. Now, if you have any love for your pocket, you see how this is important. When your child or your kids were in primary, if you thought they were distracted or they had friends or acquaintances, think again, because that's going to increase. And these are obvious things, so I hope I'm not preaching to the choir. The problem is that we take it for granted and try to fix things when it's too late. That's why we're talking basic stuff. Monitor phone usage, monitor the bill, monitor the kind of things they're now doing with their phones. Okay? The things, because you have opened the door in some way, giving them more responsibility and trust, you have to follow through, which means that you're going to not snoop, but engage them. And as you're engaging them, you're making sure that they're not overusing the phone. You have money issues, you have screen time issues, because now the amount of time they spend on the phone is obviously going to increase. More friends, accountability, transparency. So you will be able to achieve these things if you engage them very early on. Okay? Get involved in installing parental control applications that are appropriate for your young one's age. But do it. Okay? It shows that you care. And of course, it gives you an opportunity to engage them. All right? So that's important. So having access to their phone is not necessarily snooping. I know if I had young ones clicking this to watch, they may say I'm messing up with their fun. No, son, no, daughter. It's important that you are accountable. And it's more so important now as you transition to secondary school. Okay? So we're not into your business. We want to journey with you. And we're asking that you give us that opportunity. At the appropriate time, we'll hands off. But we need to guide you. Okay? So I hope you will allow us. I hope they're watching. Okay? But strictly for parents, do those things I have mentioned. Okay? Screen time being so important. Because now I assume that go to bed time is going to extend, which means they're going to spend more time chatting on the phone. You have screen time issues, the blue light issues that we've flagged many times on the platform. These are the times that you're going to have to get involved, okay? Very important. Now, the second, equally important, and it's something that I don't think we do enough. I know when my young ones were growing up, especially our first, that I joined the Parents Teachers Association, and I got to, and these were obviously the days where internet wasn't a thing, but you get involved and you get to know things that are trending in school. They're not reporting, it's just things that are trending. So you get used to those things and you can have those informed discussions with your young one when they come home. Now, in the internet age, it's so different, but it's still important that you engage or work with the teachers. Let the teachers know that you are interested, and they will involve you as best as they can without necessarily exposing the child, but getting you interested or at least aligned with your son or daughter's progress in school, especially at this age. The transitioning from primary to secondary is so important. So year 7, I guess that's what it is in the UK and the equivalent elsewhere or all over the world. Just make sure that you are involved with the school very early on. Understand how they are coping. It's when you speak to teachers that you get to hear perhaps your child is being bullied or they're quiet in school, things that will not necessarily get them into trouble. It could just be their character, but at least you're getting to speak, getting to know what is happening to your child, okay? I'm now looking at you straight into the lens. I want you to know that those engagements can be fruitful, okay? I know it's not as technical as you were hoping, and I hope it wasn't clickbait, but ultimately when your child moves from primary to secondary, they have challenges, okay? They're excited about the new era they're entering, and if they don't get guidance, they go gung-ho, and it's important that we guide them, okay? That's the ethos of the channel. Guide them whilst you can. Don't wait until they're 16, 17, when it becomes increasingly difficult. Get in now, get involved now, and journey with them, and then they will allow you even more access, okay? I've been your host, Lawrence Idem. Until next week, God bless, and goodbye.